Thank you, and good afternoon and welcome all of you for this event of TFinance. I would like to take you through quickly about the business of TFinance, as well as we'll also take you briefly about the SME financing business which we have started very recently and what is the offering around that in a nutshell. So let's begin. So just briefly about the group. So L&T, as we all know, is our parent company which is incorporated in 80s, has almost now more than 80 years of experience, incorporated my apology in 1938, and we are involved in various businesses right from infrastructure projects which includes energy, high-tech manufacturing, IT and technology services development projects, and the realty business, and last but not the least, the financial services arm, about which I would give you a brief overview. L&T, our parent, owns 66.10% shareholding in L&T Finance Holdings Limited. L&T Finance Holdings, which is the parent company for the financial services business, is a listed entity on both the bourses, BSE as well as NSE. As you can see from the vision statement of our parent, L&T is a professionally managed Indian multinational committed to total customer satisfaction and enhancing shareholder value. As far as the market cap of the group is concerned, it is almost 3,75,000 crore with the group turnover of more than 180,000 crore. The overall order book stands as we speak in excess of 4 lakh crore, and the profit before interest and tax is exceeding 4,300 crore, and the breakup of that is there on the screen as you can see, with the overall EBITDA in excess of 4,800 crore and the PAT, which basically stands for the quarter that is gone by, in the hugging distance of 2,500 crore. The company is AAA rated by 3 rating agencies, CRISIL, ICRA as well as India Rating. This is the key people who are basically providing us this strategic leadership at the group level. As far as L&T Finance Holdings, which is a subsidiary of L&T Limited, is concerned, this is the overall shareholding pattern. As I mentioned a bit earlier, the parent L&T Limited owns 66% shareholding in our company, and the balance is held by various domestic and other institutions and the public. As I mentioned, the company being listed on both the exchanges, BSE as well as NSE, commands a market cap in excess of 32,000 crore as we speak. This is the Group Executive Committee of L&T Finance Holdings, which provides the strategic as well as leadership to the organization, to the management as well as to employees and other stakeholders of the organization. About our company, as we all know, we are an NBFC registered with Reserve Bank of India. We enjoy AAA rated status from 4 rating agencies, and we offer loans in various retail segments, chiefly being consumer loan, two-wheeler loan, home loan, loan against property, rural micro loans as well as microfinance business, and farm equipment loans, and a newly inducted product, that is SME. As far as the business is concerned, it is today conducted through granular digital as well as data analytics franchisee based across the country. We are present in almost 100 cities and towns of the country, and in excess of 2 lakh villages are basically touched by our close to 27,500 employees. We have in excess of 28,000 touch points in the form of partner touch points, be it dealers, DSS or other channel partners. We are committed in providing customized solutions that will meet the unique needs of our customers from borrowers. With a focus on innovation, we aim to be a trusted partners in customers' financial journey. This is the vision statement of L&T Finance, which we have basically crafted in the year that is gone by when we decided our Laksha plan. We want to be a top class digital enabled retail finance company moving from product focused to customer focused approach, which eventually will create a sustainable value for all our shareholders. As far as the 226 Laksha goals, we have decided to have these goals across key 4 vectors, and these vectors are there on the screen. One is about the retailization. We want to be basically an NBFC which touches or lends to more than minimum 80% of our loan growth coming from the retailization. The second one, the growth which would be in the retail side would be in excess of 25% on a compounded annual growth basis. That was our Laksha plan. As far as the asset quality, which basically tracks the NPA ratios, which was the erstwhile terminology, we wanted to be at the gross level less than 3% and at a net level less than 1%. And last but not the least, the return over assets ROA, we wanted to be in the zone of 2.8 to 3%. That's what we had basically decided in April of 22 when we started our Laksha journey. As against that, those 4 goals, let us quickly look at where we stand today. So, as I mentioned, retailization, we wanted to have minimum 80% of our loans in the retail segment by 2026. The goal was to be completed by 2026. If you see, in the first year, we were basically, when we had decided this, we were at 51%, and that's the reason 80% was the goal. Very happy to basically mention to you that in the first year, completed year of FY23 itself, we crossed the retail portion to the extent of almost 75%. And now the quarter that is gone by, the first quarter of FY basically 23-24, we have crossed almost 82%. So eventually we have achieved the Laksha target of 80% of retailization in this year itself. When it comes to the retail growth, we had basically tasked ourselves to achieve 25% CAGR on the retail side. Over here as well, when we started, our retail CAGR was just 10% when Laksha was decided. As against that, we have been successful in giving a YOY in the first year of Laksha of 35% growth, and in the quarter that is gone by, we have also achieved almost same at a 34% of the growth on the retail side. When it comes to the retail asset quality, which basically tracks the delinquencies as well as quality of the loan book per se, over there in the quarter that is gone by, we have almost achieved the gross stage of 3.21% versus our target of 3%. And when it comes to the net NS3 that we call basically, which is not exactly net NPA, but it is kind of closer because of the accounting treatment that RBI has basically approved for NBFC. We have already crossed that, and as we speak, we are at a 0.7% of NS3. When it comes to the retail ROA, I mentioned to you that we want to be a company which basically provides a sustainable ROA in the range between 2.8% to 3%. And as we can see from the screen, in the June quarter that is gone by, we have delivered ROA of 3.08%, thereby having reached the Laksha target. Now basically one would ask where we would like to be going forward till 26. Idea is basically now that we have achieved this to make it sustainable and reach to that basically stage continuously and keep achieving those targets on a quarter-on-quarter basis. As far as the retailization growth and the reduction in the wholesale, if you see basically in the quarter that is gone by, we have reached the total retail loans in excess of 64,000 crore as against a corresponding quarter of last year of 47,000 crore, thereby a growth of 34% YOY has been achieved on the retail side. When we were doing business in the erstwhile arena, we were doing businesses on both retail and wholesale side, and that is the reason as we were growing our retailization, we were also very keen to reduce our wholesale exposure. Very happy to mention to you that as against the corresponding previous year's quarter, when our wholesale loans were in excess of 40,000 crore, today we have already reached below 14,000 crore. We have achieved our Laksha 2026 goal of 80% retailization of 3 years in advance itself in the process. Now let us take a bit of a deep dive on the retail side. As we can see, the company has a very strong geo presence. We are spread across the width and breadth of the country in both rural as well as on urban side. In rural, we have a presence across 1700 branches, which touches close to 2 lakh villages. And when it comes to urban, our presence extends almost to 150 branches, and that again goes 100 plus cities or towns of the country. When it comes to the second vector, that is the channel partners, the partnership, because as you know, when it comes to retailization and growth in the retailization, having strong partnership with channel partners is very important. They become extended arm of the organization in addition to the branches as well as employees which are there with the company. So we have a very strong channel presence across the country for each of our products. So if you see, when it comes to the farm equipment, which is basically tractor, we have a dealer partnership with more than 2500 dealers. When it comes to the two-wheeler business, two-wheeler financing, we have a partnership, dealer partnership with more than 6500 dealers. Likewise for home loan, 600 plus DSS, consumer loan, more, and it employs almost 45% of the workforce of the country. So it's a very huge industry that basically touches almost every life in the country. When it comes to the credit requirement, there is a huge credit gap. The loan required by these particular industries is basically to the tune of almost 25 lakh crore as per one formal study which was conducted in 2019. And basis that, if you see, the formal lenders, which includes the public sector banks, private banks and NBFCs, they are not in a position to meet even 15% of the requirement of this particular segment. And that's the reason basically there are huge challenges when it comes to this segment. The real challenge comes is about the data, the completeness of the data, the accuracy of the data and the precise nature of the data. So these are the three broad basically areas on the basis of which we have given a lot of attention to provide offering in the market. So what have we come up with? So we said that we will basically operate in SME segment on the self-employed professional sites and on self-employed non-professional sites. On the self-employed professionals, we have got a product that touches and provides loans to doctors, chartered accountants and company secretaries, etc. When it comes to the self-employed non-professionals, there are broadly three areas in which MSME basically operates: services, manufacturing as well as trading, and we have a product for them basically. So for business expansion as well as for working capital, we provide the solution in the form of a term loan as well as an overdraft facility. Idea being that take insights from the available data and provide a financing solutions for customers coming from both these segments. So as a glimpse, as I mentioned in the beginning, we started SME financing in two cities, Mumbai and Pune, as a pilot. We conducted the pilot for a nice 9 to 10 months period, and we got a good response, got good insights about this business, and then we started the business across basically India to identified locations, and slowly, gradually we are increasing our presence through these locations. As we speak, cumulatively we have disbursed more than 2000 crore already for SME business. The book size, because some loans also get basically repaid through installments. As of June of 23, our book stands at 1779 crore, and average ticket size is kind of settled at 24 lakhs. So we give a minimum of 5 lakhs, maximum of 50 lakhs. So this is the average ticket size. When it comes to the active customers, today L&T Finance has already 9,000 active borrowers in SME. We have employed close to 250 people in our company just to focus on SME business. And lastly, we are operating from 28 branches, but overall we are operating from 52 locations across the country. When it comes to the journey in Gujarat, which is where probably some of you would be more keen to understand, we started our journey of SME financing in Gujarat by opening new branches in Ahmedabad, Surat and Vadodara in August of 22. Then we had new location open in Rajkot immediately in the next month in September. Then in the end of the third quarter in December, we crossed the first milestone of 50 crore monthly disbursement in Gujarat through these branches. By end of the financial year, that is in March of 23, we added few more locations in the form of Vapi and Morbi, and that is where basically by then we had collectively, cumulatively closed transactions or lent to almost 1,000 customers in Gujarat. In the same month, we also opened new branches in Bharuch, Jamnagar, Mehsana as well as Gandhidham, and in the end of the last quarter, that is in June 23, cumulatively the disbursement of almost 436 crore out of the total 2,000 crore of a total business which we have done in the whole year, basically across the country. This is achieved only in Gujarat, Gujarat being a very strong and potent market for SME businesses, and hence tremendous opportunities for lending in the SME segment. So this is a broad map of Gujarat basically where we are operating, and as we speak from these 12 branches plus locations, other locations, because we have spokes, we have basically close to 1800 customers being serviced as of today. As I mentioned, these are the two types of products we have, basically two types of customers we have, self-employed professionals, self-employed non-professionals. When it comes to various product offerings, they are being offered under certain segments. So just to give you an example, a degree program basically looks at the degree certificate and vintage of a chartered accountant or a doctor, and accordingly basis that vintage on certain assumptions, on the basis of algorithms which are being run, on the basis of cumulative guidance and the expertise coming from the bureau as well as our own understanding, we have basically crafted a specific program basis the degree. Likewise, when it comes to the GST receipts, when it comes to the IT returns, when it comes to the bank statements, which is a traditional approach of underwriting, we have basically crafted these programs called gross receipts or a cash profit program, or a average bank balance on the bank account program, income program as is derived from largely the income tax returns, and lastly specific on the GST filing. On that basis these programs are basically done. Idea is to use alternative data to establish basically not just the repayment capacity but also to size the debt, and that is how these programs have been crafted. When it comes to the offerings, we have basically largely started with the term loan, plain vanilla term loan of 48 months or basically 60 months depending on the loan size as well as the debt servicing ability, etc. Eventually, we also realized that these businesses also need a working capital facility, access to fund from time to time, and as and when they have money, they also want to repay the loan, which is when we realize that how they basically ensure that their cash flow is optimally used, and lastly, as and when basically they have money in their basically account, how they make the payment and reduce their interest burden, which is when in November of 22 we introduced this Dropline OD program. The features of that are that it is a fixed tenor program per se, but the Dropline limit ensures that the as and when the actual basically repayment schedule day occurs, the limit keeps dropping, but the borrower gets the flexibility within that limit to have multiple drawals as well as repayments being established, which gives him a complete control on their cash flow and also helps them to minimize their own interest burden. So that's a basically new product which we have got. Very happy to mention you that in our overall disbursement which we have done, today more than 50% basically business is happening, the disbursement volume is happening from this product, and that basically also confirms that this product has been received very well by the market. When it comes to the our basically companies offering, and then there are basically obviously other players in the market, the demand is huge. One may always have a question, why take basically an offering or a loan from L&T Finance? So at the cost of sounding bit pompous, I can say that L&T Finance has a very huge, strong basically brand which has been received very well in our country. We are incorporated in 1994. We enjoy a very strong AAA rated rating from 4 rating agencies in the country. We have partner touch points across the country which are spanning more than 28,000, 27,000 of our employee touch points are there. Our presence is almost across 20 states and 2 UTs. And last but not the least, we have a strong customer base of almost 2.1 crores, and that data basically allows us to come up with solutions, financing solutions, bespoke solutions at a fastest turnaround time for our customer. Existing geo presence and digital journey. So yes, L&T per se, finance per se has the presence in more than 100 plus urban basically branches. And as we speak for basically SME business, we have 28 branches, but there are spokes. So we are operating out of 52 locations today. Our journey is totally paperless. We are striving to basically come with few clicks. You just basically log in your application, and then your application gets processed and disbursement happens seamlessly. There is no need for basically coming up with hundreds of pages where one has to sign. Gone are the days. L&T has basically moved to a totally paperless journey. Our entire digital, basically our disbursement journey is entire digital, right from logging in your case to disbursement, and thereafter taking various statements all the way till the last day when you basically repay the loan. Entire journey happens on the digital platform. 99% of the collection is happening on digital mechanism when it comes to the SME business, which is again one of the key offering from our basically side. And when it comes to L&T Finance, basically we believe that as we speak, though we have started through baby steps, in a year's time we quickly ramped up our business to 2000 crore, and our ability to basically operate at a scale is there. We can easily basically scale it up across the branches where L&T Finance is operating, not just in urban centers but even in the rural side, and thereby trying to basically contribute to the maximum extent in that credit gap of 25 lakh crore which we saw is possible because of just our sheer presence. So that's it, sir. I think we have taken you through about. So my name is Raju Duri. I am Chief Executive of Wholesale and SME Financing at L&T Finance Limited.
Tell us your SME products in Gujarat.
So we have introduced सो हमारे एसएमई में बेसिकली दो प्रोडक्ट है. एक सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए जहाँ पे बेसिकली डॉक्टर्स, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स और कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज आते हैं, और दूसरा प्रोडक्ट ऑफरिंग जो है वो हमारे सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड नॉन प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए है जो बिजनेसमैन ट्रेडिंग सर्विसेज और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में इन्वॉल्व है. सो जैसे आप जानते हैं पूरे भारत में हम लोगों ने आज 2000 करोड़ का डिस्बर्समेंट किया है एसएमई बिजनेस में, और खुशी की बात यह है कि गुजरात में ऑलमोस्ट 450 करोड़, सो 20% जो लेंडिंग हुआ है वो गुजरात से हुआ है. गुजरात में हम लोग 12 लोकेशन से ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं. अच्छा रिस्पांस यहाँ से हमको मिल रहा है. मुझे लगता है कि गुजरात का जो ग्रोथ है वो इसी ट्रैजेक्टरी पे चलता रहेगा. बहुत ही नेग्लिजिबल है, 0.1% से भी कम होगा शायद, क्योंकि अभी अभी नया बिजनेस है, गुजरात में चालू किया हुआ है. हमारी रेगुलर कलेक्शन एफिशिएंसी जो है वो अभी आज के दिन में 99.5% के ऊपर है पूरे भारत में. गुजरात में भी वही सिमिलर ट्रेंड हमको मिल रहा है.
What is your projection for Gujarat this financial year?
So we have not got any specific target for Gujarat, but we believe that our growth will be in the same ratio as we have seen in last year.
Thank you.